It begins with paper. Not money, not passports, just paper. Thin, fragile, ordinary. But in the right hands, it becomes something else. A weapon. A passport through borders. A lifeline for the hunted. And for decades, one man transformed it into power. They called him the world's most wanted forger. A ghost who supplied criminals, spies, even governments. His work was so perfect that the line between truth and forgery, between real and fake, was erased. And yet, almost nobody knows his name. He wasn't born into crime. He was born into art. A quiet boy who loved sketching, fascinated by the tiny engravings on stamps and banknotes. While other kids dreamed of being footballers or singers, he spent hours copying every curve, every shadow, every invisible detail. To him, it wasn't forgery. It was beauty, perfection. But in a world built on documents and signatures, perfection can be dangerous. By the 1980s, his skills had become legend in the underground. Terrorist groups used his passports to cross continents. Drug cartels laundered money with his counterfeit bills. Even intelligence agencies, those who hunted him, were rumored to have quietly used his work when it suited them. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes, the most powerful organizations need ghosts like him. And ghosts can never be fully controlled. Interpol described his work as undetectable. Customs officers swore they'd seen real documents, only to discover later they were fakes. Even the latest machines failed to catch him. The only giveaway was the feeling that the paper in your hand held a little too much confidence. For years, he stayed ahead, changing identities, moving between safe houses in Europe and South America, always one step faster than the police who hunted him. And yet, he was not a villain in the way movies paint them. He never carried a gun. He wasn't driven by violence or greed. He once told an associate, "I just wanted to see if I could beat the system, if I could make the fake more real than the real." It was an artist's obsession, magnified into a global threat. Eventually, he slipped. In the 1990s, investigators in Spain traced a network of passports back to him. He was arrested. But here's the twist. When authorities examined his work, they were so impressed they couldn't destroy it. They kept samples, studied them, even used them as training tools for the next generation of anti-forgery experts. The hunter had become the teacher. After years in prison, he disappeared again. Some say he went straight, teaching universities about document security. Others whisper he was quietly recruited by governments who wanted his genius on their side. And some believe he never stopped at all. That his fingerprints are still on the documents that slip through airports every day. Because the truth is, when you create something indistinguishable from reality, how do you ever prove it's gone? This is the paradox of forgery. A forger doesn't just copy the world, he questions it. If a fake can live inside the system, treated as real for years, then what does that say about the system itself? About the borders we draw, the currencies we trust, the identities we cling to? The world's most wanted forger didn't just counterfeit paper. He counterfeited certainty. And in a way, we're all holding one of his creations. Every time we look at a document and choose to believe it's real. That's the legacy of a man who turned art into illusion and illusion into power. A man you may never see, but whose shadow lives in every passport, every dollar, every signature that decides who we are. Because, sometimes, the most dangerous people aren't the ones with guns, but the ones with pens.